There is no one size fits all when it comes to chronic pain and illness and the journey out of it. And yet there is so much advice online that says, my way is the way. Do XYZ if you want to heal, or don't do XYZ if you want to heal. And as with all things in life, the answer is usually somewhere in the middle. But the challenge for you as an individual is finding the happy middle that's actually going to work for you. And that's what I want to explore in this video today, because I think it's important to understand why there's so much conflicting advice and how to navigate it in a way that's going to reconnect you with your own wisdom so that you can feel less confused and paralyzed and find the relief that you're looking for. When I was in the middle of my chronic pain and illness journey, I was willing to do anything, and I thought I needed to fix myself. So I was very focused on symptoms treatment and detoxing and cleanses and things that would fix me and heal me. And I sort of outsourced my own wisdom to voices on the internet, to people who I thought knew better than me. And that approach really didn't work. So when I found this nervous system internal approach, I didn't know it was the nervous system at the time, but when I started to work with my emotions and my thoughts, and that started to give me actual relief, I was all about it and I absolutely love it and I truly believe in its benefits. But now that I'm working with other people and I'm on this side of the internet, I'm noticing that there are some confusions or some misunderstandings of how to make this approach work. So I had a client who asked me, oh, should I not be doing this treatment because that's only treating my symptoms and that could actually make them worse because, all the nervous system coaches online say like, don't treat the symptoms, blah, blah, blah. And I understood where he was coming from, but I think the happy middle is getting lost somewhere. We've kind of gone from one extreme to the other of only treat the symptoms to never treat the symptoms. Even my own videos, sometimes I say things like stretching doesn't help or, physios aren't the answer or something like that. But the problem is I'm talking to an audience. I'm trying to make my advice apply to as many people as I can, but I'm not talking to you as an individual. You still need to figure out what's going to work for you. And sometimes what I say, what anyone else says, isn't the right thing for you. And that's okay. I'm not saying it's never the right thing, but it's up to you to figure out what is actually the right advice for you. We live in a society that is very symptoms oriented. We want to fix the problem. And so the nervous system world kind of came along and said, well, no, we don't want to focus on the symptoms. We want to focus on the underlying root cause. And I do agree that we don't want to only focus on the symptoms. But I think that needs to be balanced with the acknowledgement that the chronic pain and illness path can be long and painful and tiring. And sometimes symptoms management is a very legitimate part of that path. It's okay to want relief along the way, because the difference is from, say, what I was doing before I figured out that my nervous system had anything to do with my symptoms was I was only focused on the symptoms, only focused on fixing my broken body. But if you're watching this channel, you're beyond that. You understand that the nervous system is involved and that your thoughts and emotions matter and how you feel matters, and what's going on below the symptoms is really what's needing to be taken care of. And that's the difference. If you're doing that work, then the symptoms management is just that. It's just symptoms management, being able to function in life. This is something I really had to come to terms with to do with medication. So I really needed to be on medication to manage my symptoms, but I refused. I thought, no, that's only symptoms treatment. That's not addressing the root cause, therefore it's bad. But in the meantime, I was drowning. I couldn't function. I couldn't look after myself because my symptoms were just so persistent and pervasive. So The middle ground for me was taking medication so that I could live and then do the internal work. Before I was taking the medication, I was so dysfunctional that I couldn't do the nervous system work that I needed to find safety. It's really difficult to feel safe when you feel like you're dying. And thankfully, there was a medication that helped. Now, I could have just stayed on that medication and not bothered to do any of the internal work, but there were some side effects on that medicine that were not so fun. And plus, the thing about chronic pain and illness is even if you manage to squash one symptom with a medication or a treatment, it manages to pop up in somewhere else in your body at some point. But thankfully, I had the presence of mind to think like, okay, fine, I will take this medication and I will do this internal work. And slowly but surely, I was able to come off the medication. I have graphs in my diaries tracking how many milligrams I was on and how my emotions and thoughts and sort of, the work that I was doing internally was going. And they were going in tandem, slowly but surely, down, 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 until eventually I could come off the medication and stay stable. My flare-ups were getting easier and easier until eventually they disappeared entirely. Now, for you, maybe it's not medication. That's a very extreme example, but maybe it's getting a massage or getting a chiropractic treatment. Who knows? If that feels good to you, if that supports you, if that helps you get through the day or the week, that's okay. Yes, it's symptoms treatment, but who cares? If you're doing the internal work alongside it, then anything else you do is supporting that. And that's awesome. That's wonderful. I don't want anyone to think that they have to white knuckle it and just push through the pain in order to do this right. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. So there are two questions that you can ask yourself when you're deciding what you want to do outside of the nervous system work. 1, why do I want to do this? Now, this takes quite a bit of self-awareness and honesty, but if you can really identify, why do I want to do this? Is this coming from a place of, I still believe I'm broken and I'm trying to fix myself? Or I just like it. It feels good. It feels like the right thing right now. I just want to give it a go. There's a big difference. And the second question is, how do I feel while I'm doing it? Does it feel calming and supportive and nourishing? Or does it feel like I'm kind of gritting my teeth and pushing through because I feel like I need to do this? Your body will tell you what's the right thing for you right now. For example, sauna. Some people find sauna absolutely divine, relaxing, supportive, nourishing. They just love every single minute they're in that hot box. But for other people, it is anxiety city. It feels suffocating. It feels claustrophobic. It's hot and sweaty and disgusting. And, your heart is beating. Can you tell that I'm not a huge fan of sauna? But they push through because they feel like they should. Because sauna is touted as this, healthy, healing thing. It might not be for you. But that is for you to decide, not for someone else to tell you. If you apply those two questions to any treatment, anything that you want to do to get symptoms relief, that will help you get in touch with your own intuition, your own wisdom, your own sense of what is right for you. And then all that noise can fade away. All of those voices out there on the internet, on Google, telling you like, do this, do that. They're all just suggestions. And that's all they have to be. They're just suggestions. Everything on my channel is a suggestion. If I ever come out with a video that you go, oh, that's not right, great, ignore it. Take what works for you and leave the rest. My path is not your path, is not her path, is not his path. Your path is yours and is ever unfolding and ever changing. That's another thing, is that what works for you Today may not work tomorrow. What did work for you yesterday may not be the right thing today, and that's okay. Just take it day by day. Be willing to be flexible, be willing to experiment. But above all, keep going. I know it can feel like nothing works and everything is hard work and it feels like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but as someone who has been in the depths of that tunnel and could not see the light, keep going because it is there. Something will open up, something will shift for you, but you got to keep going. Because what else are you going to do, really? And on that note, thank you so much for being here. This is a little bit of a rambly one. I hope it made sense. I've really struggled to clearly and succinctly explain my thoughts on this topic. So if you do have any questions, if anything in this video didn't make sense, if you need clarification, please drop a comment in the comments below. YouTube reckons that you will like this video, so check that out and I will see you over there. Bye.